Hello, our viewers. Still happy to be with you today. Kiyemba Lwanga Evelyn is my name, and I still say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. I'll not stop saying that because this globe is around and we have different time zones. Thank you so much for listening in to all our different social platforms. And we're hoping you're having a nice time with all these different topics that we're talking about, that we're presenting to you. And not only just listening and enjoying, but they develop action points for you. Thank you so much for loving us, liking us, and always being there, tuning in to all our programs. Eve's Handbook, Gospel Assembly Church, and thank you so much. Of course, I'll not fail to thank Stibat Media, Stibat Photography, and video coverage for the good work that they're doing for us. Now, today, we are talking about something which is very, very crucial. And just like last time, we talked about resilience, which was something which somebody had never thought of. How do I stay resilient in life? All that we covered. Thank you so much. Today we want to see something really which I think has troubled the whole world. Have you ever asked yourself, why has the world become so unfriendly? Why have people become so unfriendly? And to the extent that people are at the verge of taking their own lives. We want to find out what that one is. But before we delve into that, I want to introduce my visitors to you. I'll actually ask them to introduce themselves. Today we have two guests. I'll ask them to introduce themselves to you. Welcome, our guests. Please introduce yourselves and say hi to our viewers.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Joan, and I'm glad to be back here once again.
Thank you, Joan.
And Brian. Brian Telfoma is my name. I am super excited to be on this show all the time, and I'm excited to know that you are listening, watching us, and throwing in your comments. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Brian. So these, our viewers, these are not new faces here, but they're very, very resourceful. Now, I was doing my research, Joan and Brian, and I found out that one of the reasons why people have become so unfriendly is because they don't have self-love. I want to throw it back to you. What is self-love?
We have a saying, ladies first.
Okay, so whichever.
Okay, I believe, like, in simple terms, self-love is love of self. Mm-hmm. It's the regard for someone's own happiness, or advantage without compromise. Yes. Okay. Yeah, you truly love yourself. You don't care about other people's opinion. I mean, in a good way, not being arrogant.
Yes.
But yes, you don't care about
true.
other people's opinions
Yes.
or your past mistakes or failures. No,
Mm-hmm.
you love yourself truly, regardless of anything. That's what I believe self-love is.
It's an amazing build-up right there.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to add in a few words in there. Well-being, my well-being. Self-love is my general well-being, without compromise, of course. And this goes far as emotional, physical, psychological. Now, look, if I know that my general outlook is registering what is within me.
Yes.
For me, that's self-love.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we battle with presenting who I am to other people. I battle to make, Joan see the image of who I am.
Your
I
proper
make
image.
Yes. So that challenge means that I have not yet farmed into that statement. You said self-love.
Self-love.
So it's like she said, my general happiness.
Okay.
Without compromise. I need to be happy from within.
Yes.
then it comes out.
But we find out today that a lot of people are actually unhappy. Simply because they feel, I must get my rubber stamp from Brian, from Joan, in order for me to be happy. If they're happy with me, then I'm also happy. Should it be that way?
Not necessarily. No, it shouldn't be. What I hear from you is that, why is it that people don't have self-love? It's pretty much that's what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
A lot of things, a couple of reasons why. I'll probably say one and John will go and shoot at it, because I know the ladies, this is one of the topics that's very important.
Okay. Well, not for the men also.
The men, it is, but we confuse ourselves. We'll come to that.
Okay, fine.
One of the reasons why I feel that people don't have self-love or don't feel that they love themselves is traced way back from their upbringing.
Okay. My
childhood, where I came from. You realize that I am probably a child in a number of 7 children, and my parents also struggled to find balance on who they can trust, who they can reveal to certain things, maybe their secrets or their affection.
They can confide in more.
Yes, and that registers to a child in a very, very different way.
Okay.
It can register that I actually am not loved. Maybe because my parents prefer my sister, my brother, to me.
To you. Okay.
So that goes way deep inside a person, and it changes their mindset.
Okay.
Remember, let me say this. Self-love is not basically the outlook. It's perception.
Yes.
How I perceive myself,
About
how
yourself.
I see myself. So if I'm affected from a child grassroots level, it's going to affect my outlook on life. Yes. So that's for me one of the reasons is how I was brought up.
So that means that your self-esteem is beaten down right from childhood.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Joan, you have something to say?
Yes. Self-love comes from within, like you said.
Yes.
Yeah, so one of the reasons as to why we don't love ourselves is because we compare ourselves with other people, with our peers, with people that we see or look up to sometimes. Yeah, so when we compare ourselves, we see ourselves as superior, as inferior. To those people.
She's talking to men.
Not only men, even ladies. Yes, even ladies.
Okay.
Yes, so you compare yourself with your friend or with your sister, and you feel like you are not enough. You feel like, no, I need to be like this. I need to be a certain way, like in terms of body shape. I need to look a certain kind of way for me to feel like, yeah, I am worthy, I am loved.
So in actuality, you're looking for external approval.
Exactly.
Yes.
We look for external approval, and we don't find it. Most cases, we don't find it.
We
just keep looking for it until like we die.
Actually,
the line is very thin, by the way.
Yes.
Self-love and approval.
And approval.
So sometimes people confuse that.
Yes.
And when people approve me, then I love myself.
You feel that is self-love.
Yes.
When someone else says you are beautiful, then you feel like, oh yeah, I am beautiful.
Yeah.
Which is not the case.
Which is not the case.
Yeah.
Now, before we delve so much into all that, is it really important for somebody to have self-love, or is it selfishness?
Well, can I go at this first?
Yes, you can go first.
It's very important to have self-love. And I'm going to quote a verse in Matthew 22 from verse 37 to 40.
Okay.
The Bible says, Jesus said this, that love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And then he said, this is the greatest commandment. And then he said, the second one is this. Like unto it is this. You shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Okay. So what does that mean?
Now that means that self-love is very important because it starts with you and then goes to other people.
Okay.
So if I don't love myself, my community is in trouble.
True.
My neighbors are in trouble.
Yes.
So you ask me, who is my neighbor? It may not be the person staying next door to me. It's someone you meet along the road.
Exactly.
Who probably has had a bad day, and because of their bad day, their attitude rubs onto you the wrong way, and it's natural instinct. You want to retaliate and hit back at this person because they have done something wrong to you. But yet they have a trigger that started from home. So if I love myself, I will not be in the judgmental seat. I'll instead compromise to try and understand what my neighbor is going through before I throw a ball or a stone at them. So if I love myself, it is easy to pacify an anger space, or a space that is challenged or charged to be negative. I'll give you an example. If someone came at me and said, I don't like the way you dress, you know, you drop me off the wrong way when you put on this shoe like this. Now, because I don't love myself, I just supercharge that negative environment.
Okay.
And we just go at each other.
Okay.
And before you know it, we are actually now assassinating our characters right there.
Okay.
We have moved away from the clothing. Now I'm actually harassing the person, their personality. Physically.
And so that answers, I mean, that still goes back to the question which I asked in the beginning. Why has the world become so unfriendly? Because you see nation rising against against nation, husband against wife, wife against husband, you know, parents against children, head teachers against students, you know, and all that.
It's because of self-love. There is no personal, there's no love, genuine love for myself. Instead, there is competition.
Okay.
So instead of me loving myself, so Jesus specifically said, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, because his intention is individual. When I come to Christ, I don't come in a multitude. I come as a person,
as an individual,
because he wants to deal with my heart first. I may be fat, I may be small, I may be tall. I've given my life to Christ. My outlook still the same.
Yes.
But my heart is being transformed day by day by renewing of my mind.
Okay.
So I perceive myself better. I start seeing myself that I am actually better. I am actually, I love myself.
Okay.
When I perceive that, then I begin to love my neighbor.
Your neighbor.
Yes.
It's because you have already the love within you.
It starts with me.
You cannot give what you don't have. That's exactly true. What Jesus means. John, you have something to say?
Yes. I have something to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
In line with that.
Yes. I personally believe when you love yourself, you are limitless.
True.
Like, that's what I believe.
Yes.
I mean, you're not held down by fear. You aim higher.
Wow.
Yes.
You go for all those things that you dream about or you dream of. And you face your challenges. You are not bothered by people's opinions. Of course, someone will come say negative things about you, but when you know who you are, because self-love also comes to who you are, like
definitely.
knowing who you are and
definitely
knowing your why. So if you know your why, you will not be bothered. You will just
you'll be able to make your own decisions.
Exactly.
And fulfill your. Nobody will distract you. You'll not give. People will be there wanting to distract you.
Yes.
But because you know what you want in life,
exactly,
nobody will
I like the word she uses, limitless. You become limitless.
Yes.
You know, when you're so troubled in your mind, especially about yourself, you don't see any open doors. You only see hate. You only see
trouble.
Someone wants to steal from me. Someone wants to
only
kill
trouble.
me. Someone that person doesn't like me.
Exactly.
So, but when you love yourself,
yes,
it doesn't matter what. If you enter a room, you brighten it up because there is so genuine love about yourself.
Which you exude.
Yes.
Okay.
I
now,
like that.
Okay. Thank you. Now let me ask, why don't people love themselves? Because I would imagine it is something which would be so natural. I should, really feel not actually feel, but I should love myself, not just depending on external props. Like today we see people, somebody can buy like 6 cars, we've actually gone into things, acquiring things,
yes,
getting extra props, support, in order for us to feel that is self-love. But that is not self-love. Now, why don't people love themselves in spite of all the things they attach themselves to, the things they acquire? Why don't people still don't love themselves? Because you'll find somebody still with all that committing suicide.
True.
Somebody still with all that divorcing. somebody with still all that backsliding or going out of the mosque. For that matter.
Yes.
Why don't people have self-love?
Do you want to go at that?
Yeah, sure. People don't have self-love for very many reasons.
Yes.
Yes, very many reasons. But some of the things that I can say is past mistakes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some people they hate themselves because of the things they did in
the past. Okay.
Yes. So they feel like maybe I don't deserve a second chance to life.
Okay.
Or I am a bad person,
Okay.
or so they fail to forgive themselves.
So that guilt keeps coming
Yes.
back
So
all
they
the
live in
time.
guilt.
Yeah, bearing that gift like all their life, and so that's how they end up like treating people the way they treat them, or doing things like they don't care about life because they're
Of
like
that guilt.
Yeah, because
They-
of that guilt. You feel like no, you are not worthy, even when, especially in church. Usually in church, like when you do something that is
Yes.
not good, like I think God hates me now.
Yeah.
He
Yes,
doesn't
yes,
love
my
me.
new retribution.
Exactly, which is not true.
Yeah.
God loves us regardless
Yeah.
of anything.
Okay.
Yeah, so we end up hating ourselves, yet we have a Father who loves us. He looks at us and he's like, I wish
here.
he knew, I wish he knew.
Yes.
Like, yeah. So that's one of the reasons as to why we hate
We
ourselves.
hate ourselves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing would be comparison.
Okay.
Comparison is very dangerous.
Okay.
You see, like I said earlier, that even in growing up,
Yes.
you're with these siblings, and we used to have this at home. I would say when we're going to school, I would say my report is going to come back better than all of you.
All of you.
And so everyone would be, we should have someone who should keep the money. If you beat me, then So you go to school with this vigor. Sometimes it's a good thing if it's in that atmosphere. But we are talking about self-love, whereby you compare your life
To another
person's life.
Okay.
Yet you're not taking the full share of the other person.
Yes.
That guy could be going through tremendous pain. He could have the money, but he's going through tremendous pain. But what we are looking at is the outlook of the person. He's driving a nice car. He's living in a nice place. He has the most beautiful lady. For us
He's
guys,
loaded. Of course, that's number one to you men.
yeah, and then you're thinking, oh my goodness, we need to switch places. So I begin to hate myself because maybe I went to school with this guy.
Because of another person's external
I went to school.
outlook.
The worst. Let me tell you about the worst bit for us guys. You went to school with this guy.
Yes.
He was on page 2
Yes.
on the report card. You were on page 1.
one.
And all the time he was asking from you about direction,
answers, how to
how
go
to do
about
it. Will you sit near me during exams? Now you flip it after school. You are asking the person, can you borrow
sit
me
near
some
me?
50,000 or 100,000? And you see, that comparison brings general dislike to yourself.
Yes.
When you go back home, you can, put on a facade, put on a mask, and, smile with the person.
But deep inside.
You go home, lay on your bed, and you're thinking,
but how
Feel
could
like a
so and
failure.
so?
I'm a failure.
But there's a scripture which says that they that compare themselves are not wise.
Yes. So that's the other reason why people don't love themselves.
Comparison.
Yeah. The other bit that I could add is maybe the outlook.
Before maybe you add, like they spend the whole of their life trying to be like the other person.
Yes.
Don't live in their life.
Their own lives.
The moment, yes. You spend your life like, I have to buy this car.
Yes.
I have to be like this
I have
person.
to beat this person
Like
at
you
their game.
cease to enjoy your life because you want to be like the other person.
Yeah.
Actually, you are competing with the other
Yes,
person
that's true.
unknowingly. You may
Exactly.
think that you just want to,
Yes.
but unknowingly you are actually competing with the other person,
other
Yes.
and
Yes,
which may be
sure.
hard sometimes for you to reach or to achieve,
Yes.
and that, like you said, takes you back to hating yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Usually, if someone wants to find out about self-love, you need to sit in it. You see, the Bible says in Matthew 6, I think, that go to your
your
father
closet.
and close the door behind you. Pray to your father in secret. Why does God want that? Because that's where you pour your heart out. That's when you expose yourself. The facade is gone. Now I am I'm before my father, and this is who I am. Now that's what I'm saying. If you want to if you want to really understand about self-love for yourself, lock yourself in a place, in a space. Go in a house, be there by yourself, and gauge your inner voice. What percentage of your voice is positive and what percentage is negative?
It's negative.
Then you will know that I am inclined to the negative, so I don't have self-love. If your positive outweighs the negative, then there you are on a good trend.
Okay.
So the other thing I wanted to add is the outlook, my body outlook.
Okay.
Now, we've seen, especially for the men, I won't speak for the ladies. For the men,
for the ladies.
you have this guy, he's in school, in your school. I'm giving an example of school because that's what, relates to people. Or at your workplace. When he puts on these fitting shirts, man.
You see that guy?
Yes. I usually say you have 7 packs, 1 for spare, because they're usually 6. And here you are, you are battling with, I need to buy another set of clothes, these things. So when you go maybe in a private space and you're looking at this guy, everyone is commenting, man, hey, that guy. Hey, man.
With 7
and
packs.
especially the person that you've been eyeing also is also commenting about the other person. So you kind of hate yourself.
Okay, just because of outlook, physical outlook.
So many times you ask the person, how do you manage to keep this thing? The guy says, I work out every day, I go to this gym. When you calculate it, man is spending 600,000
a week.
A week in just keeping his way. You say, I'm earning 500. Mukama, I should just let this go.
Yeah.
So you live your life in a shadow of
somebody else. Yes, Joan. What about the ladies?
I mean, it's pretty much the same. Yes. It's the same. You see someone, they wear a nice dress and they really look nice. You buy the same dress and try it on and you look fun. You're like, why? God, why?
Why me?
Yet the Bible says I'm fearfully and wonderfully made.
Wonderfully made. Like,
yes.
I wish I could just reduce this tummy a bit or like grow a little more hips. Yes,
Actually, most people hate their body parts.
Yeah.
Because they feel I don't have much hair, I don't have big eyes like the princesses and
my skin
the royal families here, especially in Uganda, they usually have those big eyes, rolling eyes. You look at them and you really admire somebody, and you say, wow, fearfully and wonderfully made indeed. Now when a person looks at that and they feel, oh no, I don't have hips, I don't have bums, I don't have I'm lacking. You feel yourself inadequate.
No one will like me like this.
Exactly.
Like that.
Those are some of the things which make people to hate themselves. And they really feel
Can I add something right there? Something I've felt in my heart. Probably someone watching.
Yes.
And you've tried. Let me say you've studied something and it's in your DNA. You feel I can achieve this. A goal.
Okay.
A destiny, a purpose. Something that everyone is kept on prophesying. And you see, it happens in church even when someone comes up and says, Joan, you'll be an engineer. You in my spirit, I feel you're a pilot. And you keep dreaming, and then later in life, you end up in a restaurant.
Okay.
You're running a restaurant.
Yes.
And so your friends, people who prophesied over you, who were there actually, pass by sometimes and say, Brian,
look at the engineer.
Are you? You are the one. So it kind of rubs off the wrong way to someone, because basically what we're talking about self-love is a personal thing.
Yes.
It's switching of mindset.
Exactly.
So why people don't love themselves is because there's so many things out there, and the devil uses that. He tried it with Jesus. If you are the Son of God, turn the stones into bread.
Yes.
Something external from you.
Yes.
Something that you should do to attain this
internal
position.
satisfaction,
Yes.
which is not so.
Yeah, so so I'm talking about that point when you want to achieve something, so you feel like a failure to the peers, to your friends, to your family, and also the fact that sometimes you maybe call mommy, hello, mommy, do you have an extra 20,000 or something? And your mom will go like, how old are you? You get the picture. And so you're thinking, my God, I just don't like myself.
Yes.
What's happening?
Everything around you is crumbling down.
So you start running after achievements, things, attachments. So if someone says, I'm doing a course in interior designing, how much is it? Well, it's just 150. How long is it? Well, it's just for 3 weeks. I'm going to come. So it's not in you. It's not something that you want to do.
Not
but you want to be registered with something, attached to someone.
So that you feel you are somebody.
Yeah, and someone watching us could right now be attached to a group of people who are celebs just for the fame bit.
To feel like you are important, to grow some muscle.
To feel at least nange. Oh,
I know big people.
Yes, at least to cover up
for the love, for the inner love.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the issue is, I mean, that's self-love. That's why I asked, is it important?
It is very, very important. That's why we are laboring to be here.
Yes.
It is important to have self-love, because the one thing I said is for my neighbor. My neighbor. Okay, let's first negate the neighbor and start with me. So if I love myself, the things that are going to register, the very first things that are going to register is I'm going to have purpose. I'm going to have a good outlet. She mentioned it.
Yes.
You have limitless dreams. You start to see your path clear.
Yes.
Because then when you sit with yourself and think, I can achieve that. You're not going to seek second opinions. You're just going to inform someone, by the way, I'm going to buy the entire estate right there. So you're not seeking their opinion. So if I buy the estate, what happens? You how can you even buy it? Where do you start from? So when I love myself, my outlook changes.
Yes.
I start to register positive results, by the way, in everything I touch.
You begin glowing.
You begin to glow. People think I need to pray for favor all the time. Pray for favor, favor, Lord, favor me. The Lord favored you already. That's why He sent Jesus. And He gave you Jesus. Jesus is everything we need. But how do you perceive yourself is what is important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about self-love and purpose.
Yes.
And I believe one of the reasons why people don't love themselves is because some of them don't know their purpose.
Exactly.
So especially for people that like knowing things, like me, like when you don't know why you are here, why you are created.
Yes, your purpose.
Why, yes, your purpose on earth. You feel so bad when you go to like meetings, conferences, and people like talk about their purpose. And like if you don't have a purpose, you're like
you're fake.
Yes, you're fake. Like what are you doing on that? Like you feel bad. You're like, what's wrong with me? What's my purpose? What's that one good?
What should I do?
One thing, yes, that I'm good at. Like
Yes.
you kind of hate yourself because you don't know what to do. And I think.
So is it important to have like a purpose?
It's very important.
Yes.
It's very important.
It's very, very important. I believe one of the things that will be negated out of one's life is depression. When you have purpose, when you have self-love, you will not be depressed.
That's right.
You will not enter into a depression. Because you know, like you've been mentioning, you already know who you are.
That's right.
And you don't need an external prop
Yeah.
to confirm to you who you are. No. If God has already told you that you're fearfully and wonderfully made,
Believe that.
I mean,
Believe that. Yes.
Believe it. It's. I mean, that's enough. It is sealed.
Yes.
Yes. I don't need. I've seen women buying extra bums. They sell bums.
Oh, they do.
Yes,
and
they
breasts.
do.
They,
Yeah.
They do.
and whatever.
They should make for us men.
The packs.
Yes.
Oh my God. But you know what? At the end of the day, like you said, when you go back home and you're lying down on your bed,
Exactly.
you still
When you put all those things off
exactly.
your body.
Yes.
You are still Brian.
There's this thing here
Without
still
the
hanging
7
out.
packs.
Yeah. When you say that, there's something that came to heart.
Yes.
Someone probably watching it thinking, so you mean when I give myself a treat of my salary, that's not self-love? Or when I take myself out, that's not self-love? Or when I just say, you know what, my girlfriends come over, my boyfriends come over, let's just go have this nice time.
Yes.
Well, I would say this. Those are symptoms of self-love.
Yes.
You see, the things that we attach ourselves to is actually not self-love.
Yes.
It's just it's the abundance of the thing that is inside of me. If I speak to someone wrongly, there's a time I went to a certain company, I won't mention the name for their safety, and I go to this front desk, and the person was a lady, unfortunately, and I think she had had a bad day,
Okay.
bad night. So I said,
she woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
and I said, "Good morning, madam." She didn't even look up.
Okay.
She just told me, "You sit there, we'll call you." So I stayed standing there. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, I had studied with this person. So I knew the person.
Okay.
So all of a sudden she turns and looks up, and then she said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't know." And so the stories came out. But for me, I realized that, you see, it's maybe because of something that this is the way she's responding. So what do I mean? That the things that we give off is a result of what we have inside. So if I tell myself, let me take myself out, it means that in that moment, I feel I love myself to reward myself. But this is seasonal. We are talking about self-love that is, it's like the kingdom. It's like I'm living in that country. It's like I'm living in that empire. So self-love is not just a seasonal, like Easter or Christmas.
On and off, on and off. No.
Self-love is intentional. I need to switch my mindset and love me.
Yes. Goes back to the scripture which you quoted, where Jesus said that love your neighbor
as yourself.
As yourself.
Yes.
Meaning that cultivated self-love is supposed to be
an extension to
an
overflow, in fact.
Exactly, an overflow to everybody to whomsoever you meet.
That's very powerful.
And you know what? The world would be a lovely place to live in.
Yes.
Now, my dears, we've discovered why people don't love themselves. Now somebody will ask you, what should I do to love myself? What should I do to love myself?
Why are you looking at me?
This lady is very smart.
She is.
Right. Why would I love myself? I'm just extending.
What should I do to love myself? I really feel, as we are talking, somebody is discovering that, sure, I don't love myself. I've gathered myself a lot of things, I've bought myself a lot of stuff, but still I feel that dissatisfaction within me. I feel it's not me. I don't feel that love about myself. Now, with or without things, what should I do
to love me?
To love me.
Wow. Allow yourself to make mistakes.
Okay.
And mistakes are human.
Yes.
Don't beat yourself up. Don't hate yourself.
Forgive yourself.
When you make a mistake, mistakes are there for us to make.
Yes.
The best thing to do is for you to learn from the mistake and then you move on. But don't let those mistakes define you.
Wow.
Yeah, and like you live the rest of your life
in guilt.
Yes, in guilt because of what you did know. Allow yourself to make mistakes, learn from them, and move on.
But Joan, some people will say that, since I can allow myself, I have that leeway.
Let me go and I'll repent after.
Sin to the brim, and then I will repent after. After all, there is an opening for me. Whereby should it be that way?
No, not like that. Not like that.
That intentional sinning.
Yeah, not that
constantly.
Intentional sinning. I mean mistakes that happen when you don't even know. Like you do something and it turns out otherwise.
Yes.
Like that's what I mean. Not like intentional mistakes. You can't slap someone
and say, let me see the
exactly.
That brings guilt.
Yes.
That's arrogance.
Yeah.
That's you don't.
Okay.
You just, in case you do something or you happen to, might be like the person you talked about that didn't give you customer care, and when she realizes, she's like, man, I need to change. This is not good.
Yes.
You don't go on beating yourself.
Slap someone and say, you know what? Let me make this mistake and we
again.
See. Yeah, but I relate. I relate to what she's saying.
Okay.
Allow yourself to be yourself. Allow yourself to live. People don't live. People are hidden in something, in a balloon. You're so conscious. You're like on eggshells. You can't breathe. When I make a mistake that is calculated, that's going to bring guilt. Now she's not talking about the guilt aspect. She's talking about living. Because it's in our flesh.
We are inclined to error.
Yes. So for me, I would say this as with that part. master your inner voice.
Okay.
I think we need to create times of solitude where I break away from people, from routines, and just go into my private space and then listen to what my mind tells me.
Your mind is telling you. It goes back to the other message we had about decluttering.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
When I learn to master my mind, because sometimes you can leave home and you see yourself in the mirror, you're really smart.
Yeah.
And then there are those people, Bambi, who are just over their bone, how I don't know. And the person just goes off at you. If that shoe was in black,
Yes.
you'd match properly.
Yes.
But you see, if I have spoken to myself in my room and I say, I am smart, I am fearfully, wonderfully made,
Yes.
nothing can shake me. I mean, you will just shut that person, not even respond,
Yes.
and just keep living.
Yes.
And
so,
and so when you do that, it's easy for people to actually flow into your spirit.
okay.
Yes.
Yes. So that goes back to appreciating yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, appreciating yourself and not allowing other people's opinions.
Not allowing other
affect you.
to overshadow you. Okay. Once you know you are smart, irrespective it doesn't matter what Joanne says.
If you learn,
doesn't
if you
matter
learn
what
to
Brian will
master,
say.
to
Yes.
speak to yourself, your inner self, if you learn that, it is easy for the outside to appreciate you, because it will start to show on the
Yes.
outside.
Speak and believe.
And believe. Yes. So, in other words, we also learn not to be harsh to ourselves.
Yes.
No, some people are so harsh to
True.
to themselves, and whatever they do, it's about self-condemnation, self-condemnation,
Yes.
self-condemnation. But
So it's a statement that yes.
The other day I was at the mall and
Uh-huh.
there was a kid about 5-6 years.
Yes.
And he was with his little sister about 1 year.
Mm.
So they were playing and the sister fell from his hands.
Oh.
The kid felt so bad.
So-
He started slapping himself.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like, why did you? Like, he started
Oh.
slapping. He felt so bad, he even felt it could complete his food. So he was like punishing himself
for what had happened.
for what had happened to the little sister.
Being so harsh to himself.
Now you see that example right
Yeah.
there.
You know?
It starts from within.
Yes.
What I've perceived of myself. If I make an error, I make a mistake, I will treat myself so bad.
So harshly, like these people who hit them, who tie themselves with ropes and beat them. Have you
Yes,
seen them?
I've seen them.
Who beat
Actually,
themselves
that's
with
why
ropes? Others cut themselves with
With razors.
razors
Yes.
or sharp instruments.
I can tell you that's why people kill themselves. It's because of self-love. I start by telling myself, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Why me? I'm the root.
And
so,
you know what you confess is what you actually become.
Yes, and then it becomes me. I'm always making mistakes. I'm always stupid. I'm always because that's how I perceive myself.
Oh my God, our time is fast spent.
Yeah.
But say something to our viewers about self-love. Encourage somebody out there who feels really so devastated and feels they can never come up to be who they really God intended them to be, and say something to them that will help them to really rise up and be themselves what they are supposed to be.
Wow. This has been an interesting topic and talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe self-love is our basic human necessity.
Yes.
Like, we all need to love ourselves truly. That way, we are going to be able to do a lot more with our lives. We are going to be able to face our fears. We are going to be able to do something significant with our lives, which is why we are all here. We are here to to live a life of significance.
Sure.
So we need to learn. I don't know. We have talked about some of the things, but we need to learn how to truly love ourselves slowly. It's a process. It's a journey. You don't wake up one morning and you love yourself. No, you have. It's a journey. One day at a time. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So we should jump on the journey of loving ourselves truly. Personal growth is very important in self-love. You jump on the journey of personal growth. Read a book, listen to those influential people or people that you look up to. You do something with your life that affects your life positively, or that changes your life and makes you a better person.
Okay. Thank you, Joanne.
Interesting.
Yes, Brian.
So the ladies always finish
in
that
just 2 minutes.
good things, they finish them. This is what I'll tell the person watching us or listening to us, is that constantly speak back to that negative voice in your mind. Constantly speak back. Do not allow that voice to overwhelm you or overrun you. I am speaking from my experience, personal experience. There are times when I'm just by myself and I've maybe botched it somewhere, I've done maybe a mistake, I've said something bad to someone. I speak to myself quickly and I tell myself I am not a bad person. I am a good person. Even when your voice is speaking to you negative, you are bad, you're irregular, you are not what? You speak back. Whatever statement that comes to your mind, learn to speak back
positive
to it.
Self-affirmation.
Affirm yourself and spend time with yourself as well. So many times, so many of us like spending time with other people, but love spending time with yourself. That's how you learn how to combat the negative thoughts.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Joanne. Thank you so much, Brian. I tell you, this is something very, very deep.
It is.
And to our viewers, I tell you, if we all cultivated that self-love within us, of that genuine self-love within ourselves, the world will be a very beautiful place. I tell you, we would go back to Eden, to the Garden of Eden, where everything was just green and life and full of life, and you know. But today, everybody wants to hide away. But to our viewers, it's not yet the end of life. Don't commit suicide. Learn to forgive yourself. Learn to forget about your past. Learn to have that quiet time with yourself and have those positive self-affirmations to yourself that will bring back yourself, so that you have yourself, have your touch with reality, you know, with yourself, your real self, to whereby you are not into the devil's den, being taken captive, but you are what you are supposed to be, fearfully and wonderfully made. Let that self-love start from deep within, not from things, not from props, not from external support, not from people, but right from yourself. May God give you the strength to do so. We thank you so much for listening to us. And don't forget, the pandemic is still here with us. We still sanitize. And of course, we put on our masks.
Right.
Yes, our masks, wherever we are, we put them on because we must learn to keep safe. It is one way of loving yourself.
That's right.
God bless you so much. Thank you.